So we are getting into the questions on how to draw a network diagram. Okay, so we have a question here with 5 rules, and using these 5 rules you need to draw a network diagram. Okay, it's very simple. So before working out, please write down this question after pausing this video, and after hear the explanation. So G is the first activity to be performed. There are 5 conditions. G is the first activity to be performed. Okay, so we will just number event as. So these are activities. Okay, all these are activities. Okay, so this 1, 2, and we will name this first G, first activity as G. G is the first activity to be performed. It's clear, right? G 1 to 2, that is the first activity. There will be 2 events. Forget about the events, as the question is based on activity only. So 1 to 2 G. Second condition, H and I can be done concurrently. Concurrently means as parallel. Concurrently and must follow G. Okay, so H and I are 2 distinct activities that can be done parallelly, which should occur only after G. That means after this event 2, you can start 2 activities. First one H and second one I. You can name it as 3 and 4. Okay, so we have completed with second condition. Third condition, H must precede J. Precede means H will be coming before J. That means J is a successor of H. So J is successor of H. That means this is J. Okay, so H must precede J. H is preceding J. Okay, so you can just draw right here, because I know there will be a continuation like this. There is no mistake in drawing it straight. So it's all right. If you feel while drawing any network diagram, you can draw it freely at first, and you will know how the shape is. Then you can redraw it much neatly. That's the best method to draw a network diagram. Okay, so for any question you can just draw it according to the conditions, and you can redraw it just below it so that it is neatly presented. Okay, so J. Fourth condition, K must succeed I. K is the new activity, must succeed I. Succeed means K will be coming after I, but it cannot start until H is completed. Okay, it cannot start until H is completed. That is, if this is I, so K, sorry, that is K. K is succeeding I. Okay, but there is an extra condition, but it cannot start until H is completed. H is here, H is way over here. So the condition is only after completion of H you can start K. So by this scenario, it is right now the logic is incomplete with this section. So if it means that H should be completed before K, you can use a dummy activity like this. You don't have to name the dummy activity, because that is a dummy activity. Okay, so now only after completion of H and only after completion of I you can start K. Okay, and the last one, the last operation L is dependent upon the completion of J and K. Okay, so there is a last one L, and that is dependent only on J and K completion. That means this K can be redrawn as this, and this is L 5 6. Okay, so this is the network diagram that you got from these 5 conditions. Okay, and using full Curzon rule also you can just number it likewise: 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, the same. Okay, so in here the only a special case is cannot start until H is completed, so that you can draw a dummy activity. Okay, so we'll move on to next one. And this is question number 2. Okay, so this first column is the list of activities from Q to P to Y, and this column is identification. That is, this means P is connecting events 1 and 2. That is, if this is activity P, here tail event will be 1 and head event will be 2. It's pretty clear from the numbering. Okay, so if V is the activity, 4 is the tail event, and 7 is the head event. That's it. Okay, so from this data we are going to draw network diagram. So P, you will start by obviously from P1 2, that is P, and Q is from 2 to 3. 2 to 3, suppose 3 is here, Q, this is R, from 2 to 4, this is R, S is from 3 to 6, 3 to 6, that is S. T is from 3 to 5. Okay, and U is, that is T, U is from 4 to 5. You just have to join this. This is U. V is 4 to 7. V. And W is 5 to 8, that is W, and X is 6 to 8, and Y is 7 to 8. Just join it and name. That's it. So this it was pretty easy. You just draw events with these numbers to join and name the activity as P and each activity accordingly. Okay, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y. Okay, so events was 1 to 8. Okay, so moving on to next question. So this is third question, and we have a column or a row of events from 1 to 10. There are 10 events, and we have a list of immediate predecessors. Okay. So these predecessors are the ones which will be the just previous one to this number 1. That is, if 2 is to be drawn like this, 1 will be just behind. Okay, and if 7 is to be drawn like this, there will be 3 and 4. This is the logic. Okay, you will be having 2 predecessors for 7 and 4 for 10 and 1 for 9, etc. Okay, so this is the logic, and based on this logic, and this one especially is based on events. So that is the first thing to be noticed. Okay, so we will just start drawing right away. First event 1, second event, and the predecessor for second event is only 1. That means it is a direct one. Okay, and 3 immediate predecessor is 2. That is, you will just draw it like this. Okay, 4 you have again immediate one as 2. That is, if you draw 4 like this, join with an activity. 5 again 2. So we have 3 concurrent activities here. Okay, it's a burst event. And next one 6, that is having 2 previous events. They are 3 and 5. So you can have 6 like this, so that 3 and 5 are the predecessors of 6. Okay, clear. Next one 7 is having another 2, 3 and 4. So it will be something like this, 3 and 4. Okay, and 8 is having a different one, 3 and also 7. Okay, so that means we will need more space. 7 for 8, suppose 8 is here, you will have to connect with 3 and also with 7. Okay, so 8 is having 3 and 7 as immediate predecessors, and for 9 there is only 7. And the last one 10, we have 3 as 1, 6 as second one, 8 as third one, and 9 as fourth one. It's a rather bigger one than the previous. Okay, so we had a set of events and a set of immediate predecessors, and using that logic of joining behind each of them with this direct relation, you draw this as your solution. Okay, this is the network analysis for this question. Okay, moving on. So fourth question, you have a set of activities from A to K, and you have its prerequisites. Prerequisites mean for completion of C, you should have completed A before C. Okay, so that means, in other words, C is the successor of A, or A is the predecessor of C. Okay, A should come behind C, and similarly A and C should be completed before you start on E. Okay, so we will just start right away. You have 2 activities A and B with no prerequisites. That means they are the 2 parallel activities that should be emerging from the first event. Okay, so as this is activity oriented question, understand accordingly. So you have done event oriented and activity oriented question. So the logics or the imagination before you will be different for both. Okay, so notice this first. Okay, and A and B, that is A and B. Okay, and C, for C, A is the prerequisite. So for C to happen, you have to complete A. That is the logic behind the network diagram. For C to begin, A have to be completed, prerequisite. Okay, and for D to happen, there should be completion of B. That means similar thing like this, D. For E to happen, you have prerequisites A and C. C is simple, you know it as like this. Okay. And what about A? A is already completed with respect to C. See? If C is complete, A is already complete to begin with. For C to start, A has to be completed. So when E has prerequisites A and C, you just have to link it here, because A is already complete and then C started, then you can start E after the finish of C. Okay, so I hope there is no confusion. E, you have prerequisites A and C. So with this section, the main logic is you can start E only after completion of A and C. So don't bother to connect two activities or two events or anything. Just connect that either. F, the only prerequisite is B. That is F. And next one, G. G is prerequisite C and D. That means either you can draw like this, C and D means D is complete by here. If this is G, so you have completed with D, complied with D, then C is remaining. You cannot connect this with an activity unless there is a real activity enlisted here. So there is no real activity enlisted to connect with C or C with G or C with any activity or this event between D and G. So what do? You had two events, two activities as prerequisites for G. D is now complete. Okay, and to include C into that, you use dummy activity. Now to complete or to start with G, you need to be completing C and D. C and D. Okay, so in other thought, what happens if I include G in here rightly like this? Then I will have to connect another dummy activity like here towards this, right? So what will be the condition of E? E, there will be, you have to add D. Okay, with that logic, you need to have D in here. So there is no D in here, so that means you cannot pick your arrow towards this event, and it's comfortable and logical with your question that you connect these two events with a dummy activity. Okay, so G is there. Next one, H. H, you have to connect G and F. That is, F and G will be coming to a single event. Okay, so I will have to alter this a little bit. This will be F. Okay, so because H is this activity which have prerequisites G and F, as because you have F and G to a single event, so that you can start your H right away. Okay, and then you have I as a single prerequisite of E, simple, and you have J with I and H as prerequisites. So you can draw like I like this. J, and next one K. J is the only prerequisite, so this is K. Okay, so as I said earlier, you can just draw on roughly with your logic constraints, and then you can draw another one with neatness. Okay, so I will just draw neatly here. 1A, B, C, D, dummy activity, E, G, F, this was I, right? That's I, H, J, and K. So this is the correct answer for this question, fourth question. And you can number the events 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this is the answer. So I hope you have cleared all the confusions of how to draw a network diagram. We have done 4 questions. Okay, so try to do these questions as a work or practice problems, and try to do as much as problems you like to perfect this skill. Okay, thank you.